Let's start here. Okay. Okay. I think I've got it together. I was going to say it's you, Louis. It's on you. We're back with an extended Louis B. Free radio show, Brain Food from the Heartland today. I am so thrilled, delighted, and honored to have returning to the show, Keith Levenson. Keith, thank you for doing the gig with me again.
So nice to be here again.
Thank you.
You're so nice to be anywhere.
Yeah. I don't know what your age is. And I don't know. Okay. That's how I should do it. I think I'm quite a bit older than you actually, but it's useful. Yeah. There's not many advantages, but it's useful to say, yeah, it's good to be anywhere, or yeah, I've got a couple of my, yeah. So give us a little bit, for new listeners, a little bit about yourself, about your background, if you would.
So after trudging through the world of Broadway and national tours for many, many years, here I am as conductor and musical director of The Who. A job someone has to do. And
so why not you?
Yeah, exactly. Why not me? So it's a lot of music and a little détente all along the way.
How did it come together working with The Who? I mean, you've got an incredible background. We could spend hours talking about your background.
Well, honestly, it came together because somebody else couldn't do the job. That's not that they couldn't talent-wise do the job. In 1994, and this was really just with Roger Daltrey, a guy who was supposed to conduct a tour of his. It was called Daltrey Sings Townshend, and it had started at Carnegie Hall and then was going on a 38-city summer tour. Was supposed to conduct those concerts, and he got a little show called The Lion King.
A little show called The Lion King, correct?
This little skit. And he was one of the principal orchestrators, and he just couldn't leave it. It was the time when they were just going to rehearsal and putting it all together. So he asked me whether I would like to do it, and it happened to be on the day after I had 4 shows close on and off Broadway in one day. So I was kind of in the I will never work again. What am I possibly going to do moment. So it was like it couldn't have happened at a better time.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, I really appreciate you sharing that with us. I've got to say, I don't want to forget to say this about Roger Daltrey, and it's just so. And I think about some of the charity acts and things that people have done, and some of the charities in the UK, and that idea of being charitable is really, really impacted me.
I think at this point, that's kind of what Roger's life is about. You know, not only teen cancer in the UK, but Teen Cancer America. He's built, I know, at least one hospital here where we do benefits. He does tons of benefits.
It's wonderful.
I think he's really giving back.
I love hearing that. And I want you to know why I mentioned that, because I had Deborah Bonham, John Bonham from his sister from Led Zeppelin on, and she was telling me about his charity work. This was, I don't know, a couple of months ago. And it was really, you can like the music, you can like the art, you can like the music, you can love the music or what someone produces, but when you find out that humanity in them or that desire to help and give back, that's just wow.
Yeah.
To me, that really elevates the person to a different dimension, I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think he lives on a different plane in that way.
So let's talk about the new tour, because last time you talked with me was
I think I was I think I was just about to do Tommy with Roger. I
yeah,
think we just rehearsed. I think we had just
yeah,
released
just
Tommy orchestral album.
orchestral. Yeah, absolutely, yes. And that was, oh, I'm sorry, I'm
2018, maybe. Yeah,
oh, that long ago.
2018.
Okay,
Yeah,
time's
well,
going
every
so.
time a pandemic comes around, I lose
Yeah,
track of time.
yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, so we did that, and then the following year, um, Roger sort of talked Pete into doing an orchestral based on the success of the Tommy orchestral tour. Um, Roger sort of talked Pete, who was pretty reluctant at first, into doing a Who tour with an orchestra. And then, as it turned out, he really loved it.
Yeah, that's when I think you were on with me too. Also, I think we caught up, if I recall. That sounds really familiar. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So in, I guess it's 3 years now. We rehearsed and did, I think, around 30 dates in 2019, and we're going to go to the UK. I mean, I was literally sitting in the car in March of 2020, headed to the airport to go to London to do the UK Ireland leg of the tour, when the tour manager called me and said, "Don't get on the plane." And I guess at that point, I thought that COVID was going to be this like 3-week thing.
Yeah, yeah, we hoped.
And I thought, oh, okay, well, this isn't so bad, because I hadn't really been home in a long time, and I had just moved houses, and I thought, okay, well, we'll make it up some other time. And we had all these dates scheduled for April and May, and then again October of 2020. And then, of course, all of that was canceled and pushed into 21, which was all canceled. So, it's been a long time.
It's been, what is it like doing what you do, working with doing these orchestral aspects with rock concerts?
Mostly it's a blast, but it's really hard work. You pick up a different 35, 40 people in every city you go to. You have to rehearse them in the afternoon, take a short break, do a sound check. And then comes the most miserable part of the day, where you're done with sound check and you wait 4 hours to do the show. Because there's like, from say 6:30 to 9:30, there's nothing to do. I mean, you can only eat once, and you can't really leave the venue, nor do you really want to. So it's kind of like, there's a lot of time killing in that.
So what do you do, since you mentioned it? How do you fill that time? I've got to believe the adrenaline's really pumping, because you did the sound check and you really want to get going. You want to.
Well, actually, what happens is the adrenaline completely drips out of you. And so then you've got to kind of like, the half hour before the show, try to whip it up again. As we get older, that actually gets harder to do.
The aging process, right? The aging process.
Man, my adrenaline meter. It's because I put a lot of adrenaline into rehearsal.
Sure.
So I'm really doing 2 shows a day. but whatever, in any case. So, we eat dinner and we sit around and schmooze and drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah, and get ready for the show.
Yeah.
When you, Keith Levenson, with the Who, when the show opens, you've got all these thousands and thousands of people looking at you, waiting for you to perform, very, very eager for the show. I can't even imagine what that feels like.
It's become a funny feeling. I think, and the more I read the Who fan pages, the less I should read the Who fan pages.
Wait, tell me about that. Tell me why.
It's hard to avoid social media, and I suppose I could just throw away my phone, which sometimes I think would be a good thing to do. But I see the Who social media, and it is sometimes just vicious. In terms of vicious in terms of the orchestra. Some people really love it, and there are other people who just hate it. And it's kind of hard. I very rarely comment on anything because I don't want to get myself into really into the trenches with them. But they somehow they think that we're making the music impure, or which is really the opposite, because believe me, if Pete Townshend didn't want an orchestra there, we wouldn't be there. And
that's a really good point. Yeah,
he's quite happy with the way the arrangements, and I think it's made touring somewhat easier for him because it gives limitations. But boy, so sometimes when I go out there, I'm wondering if they're going to throw things at me.
People, Keith Levenson, I think with social media, I don't understand when people feel the need to be nasty or negative. I don't understand. There's so much of that these days. I get, being an old guy, if you went to a restaurant, you didn't enjoy the meal, you didn't go back. That's all. I mean, you didn't stand and yell and holler and tell everybody. And, I just don't understand that, because that amount. I was surprised, very honestly, when you said that. I didn't expect that about the negativity.
I wonder if people are so isolated.
Do you think?
That are lonely, that the only expression that they somehow social media gives you power, and the only expression they have is through a Facebook post. I mean, I don't post that often, but when I do, it's generally something either really positive about my work or really positive about my family. I would never, I can't imagine posting something negative really about anything.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I just don't see the sense in it.
Yeah, and I didn't realize, because I haven't looked a lot at the social media pages, that there were that many negative or nasty. I'll call them nasty people. Again, I get somebody that would say, I loved this. I wasn't as fond of that. It's just, at least balance it a little bit.
Yeah.
And again, the musician, when you think about the musicians and how hard they're working out, like you said about Pete Townshend, it wouldn't be. It's not like you forced yourself on that, right, Keith?
No, and have some respect.
Yeah.
I mean,
boy, no kidding.
And forget. I mean, people like Pete and Roger and the Stones and McCartney and Ringo, like I don't think they're doing this for the money, you know. I think they're doing it because the fans love them, and they feel some responsibility to their crews and to their audiences, and like, you know, fair criticism is fair criticism.
Yes.
But when it gets nasty,
That's Keith Levenson. I agree with you. When it gets nasty, that's fair criticism is fair criticism.
You know,
nastiness is nastiness.
I'm all for freedom of the press, but
sure.
Geez.
Well, yeah. It's getting too awful these days. And I don't want to sound negative, but I don't know how society's going to have a shift. Again, most people are good. Most people are decent. Most people, you know, we hear all the negatives. They seem to be louder than some of the positives. So maybe we've just got to refocus or not read, or like you say, not read the social media pages. I'm talking with Keith Levenson. I want to talk about the band. I want to talk about the tour, but I want to talk about, and I want to be very cautious in how I say this, Fustercluck. I've you know, go ahead. Never mind. That's it. Tell us about it, Keith. Save me from myself.
Yeah, the F word. Well, Fustercluck was born out of, well, it was really born out of the pandemic, and it was born out of the fact that the entertainment industry was essentially destroyed. And we are still trying to recover, and definitely going through our ups and downs and our openings and our closings. So another gentleman and myself and my wife started this company, which first was just based on sort of doing parody videos about Trump and Biden and COVID and whatever, and you know, which was all well and good, and then of course we had the election, so none of that was very funny anymore. It was very funny when it was funny.
It was funny,
which was sort of everything leading up to November of when did we elect our president? We elected him in 2020, right?
Yes.
So, you know, it was all well and good, and so my wife designed shirts and hats and jewelry and bags and you name it, and we got together with Music Cares to try to raise money for all these starving musicians and their families and crews. And wonderful. I really used the time to kind of become an advocate and an activist, which was something I had never done before, and help people. Though I hadn't been an expert, I tried to help people through the really murky, muddy waters of unemployment and the getting your money from the government with the benefit, you know, the benefits and the whole thing, and
to get by, right? I mean,
well, you know, it was, you know, it was brutal for me, not only financially, but obviously because I couldn't work. But I was, in a sense, one of the lucky ones, because I had worked for the Who and I had saved some money, and I knew how to negotiate some of the government funding that there was. But, you know, as 1099 gig workers, the vast majority of us really didn't know how to do that. Maybe still don't. And that's kind of what Fustercluck was all about. and what we're still about.
Still helping. Yeah.
We still sell the shirt and give away the money. We're still out there. And I have to add, we had some very big help behind us. We had Roger Daltrey, and we had Eddie Vedder, and we had Darlene Love and John Anderson.
Wonderful.
Yes, and all these people doing teasers and promos for us, and helping the cause. I don't think anybody much wanted to hear what Keith Levenson had to say, but
I do.
You know, really, and a wide-ranging collection, not only musicians, you know, bus drivers and wardrobe people and ticket takers.
That's and all those the people whose economics shut down immediately. Well, not immediately, but very quickly. Yeah, very quickly and for an awful long time. You can get more information at fustercluckmusic.com. That's fustercluckmusic.com. Of course, we've got links up at wfmj.com and louisfreeshow.com for more information about that. Let's talk about the tour now. The current tour.
Yep.
The Who. Tell us.
We open tonight. Tonight is our first show. And
by the way, I'm so honored to have you on the day of the first show.
Well, it forces me to wake up, which is a really good thing.
So it's a good thing?
It's a good thing.
Okay, good.
So it's after about a week of rehearsal with the band and the orchestra and some with Pete and Raj, we do it tonight. And I'm excited, excited.
Nervous, yeah. I mean, as many times as you've done it, and you're nervous, excited, certainly.
Well, we haven't done it in a while.
Yeah. Okay, you know? I get, that's a long time.
Yeah.
It's going to be great getting back out there.
Yep.
Tonight, and it's working. Talk about the band.
Well, we have many of our old favorites. The unbelievable Zak Starkey on drums.
Son of
Ringo Starr.
And the Beatles. Go ahead.
And then brother of Pete Townshend, Simon Townshend, who is, I think, really our secret weapon on guitar and vocals. Billy Nicholls. Boy, do I have to stop saying just notice that.
You've been very busy. You know, you've got your
Billy Nicholls, who's been with the Who forever on backing vocals, and he really keeps their vocal arrangements tight. He's with us. John Button on bass, Lauren Gold on keyboards, and our newest member, Emily Marshall on keyboards and associate conductor.
What's that been like working with her?
Great. You know, she's been here for a week, and I think she's fit into it really well. And this is not an easy band, but she's killing it.
Oh, that's great.
Killing it.
How did you find her? How did that happen?
I've worked on and off with Emily, mostly off, but I'm thinking around 10 years. And she really checked off all the boxes as to what you need to be to fit into this band. You need to be a great musician. You need to be able to roll with the punches, not easily intimidated, and yet know when to shut up when you need to shut up. It's tricky.
Can you tell us a little bit more, Keith Levenson, about what it's been like working with? I'll separate that. Well, with Pete Townshend and Roger Daltrey. What has that been like for you? I mean, it's the Who.
Well, I've known Roger now, I guess it's over 30 years.
Wow.
And I think it's fair to say that we have a relationship that goes beyond the Who and what we do.
It's wonderful.
In fact, I'm going to England this summer to play keyboards on his solo tour.
You're going to be playing keyboards on Roger's solo tour. That's fantastic.
And my relationship with Pete is much newer, but I consider him, well, first of all, he's a genius, right? So there's always that. And I'm always kind of just knowing that I'm in the room with that kind of and always a little bit in awe. It's hard not to be in awe. And yet he is one of the most polite, respectful of other musicians. I think if you asked any, especially with our local orchestras, he's just so kind and
oh, that's so good to hear. Go ahead, Keith. I'm sorry.
Respectful. I've seen his temper too, but I think we have certainly mutual musical respect, and I don't feel shy about calling him to ask a question. And I think he'd rather have me call and ask the question than not. So it's a new relationship, friendship, camaraderie. Relatively new.
I just want you to know, if I was ever in the room with Keith Levenson, that's how I would feel. I'd be like, I'm in the room with Keith Levenson. I'm serious. I'd be like, that's Keith. I'm here. Let me go over and do a selfie.
Well, here we are.
Here we are. You're yes, but I mean, when you're saying that about them, you've done amazing things, and it speaks volumes that you're the one doing this with the Who again and the tour. Go ahead.
I guess.
Okay. Okay. I don't mean to make you uncomfortable. I just, you're part of the band.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Who. That's incredible, right?
It is. And in my more quiet moments, sometimes I reflect over that.
What, am I really here? Is that?
No, I just say this is ridiculous.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. I think it's great. When you're touring, again, getting back out on stage, it's going to be a great experience. And I understand, when you say nervous, when you put that in perspective, that it's been so long. But then you're out there and being on the road and all the different venues and having to do everything that you do with the orchestra. I know this is a very open question, but what's that like?
I think it's sort of about, maintaining really, and trying to have as normal a life as you can on the road, because it's not a normal life. Yeah. And basically we travel every other day. So, it's like a rehearsal, a show, and then the next day is a travel day. So in a sense, it's an off day, or a day without a show, but it's not really a day off. Yeah. Because we're traveling. So, you kind of try to eat well and treat yourself well as you can, as you move through it. You kind of lose track a little bit of what day
and where. I'll bet. I'm guessing where you
yeah.
are. That's what I was thinking, Keith Levenson, when you were saying that. I'm thinking, where am I today? What day of the week? Yeah.
I mean, I kind of know what my next 2 cities are. And after that, I have to look at the book and see.
And like you say, remind yourself of what day of the week it is and where. That's got to be, but it's got to be very exciting also.
And what else I can do around it.
Like,
can I go see a baseball game?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like what is there anything else in town? Is there another, well, I wouldn't say I would go to another concert necessarily, but is there something else to do?
That's interesting. So you could, kind of clear your head, right?
And
occupy that.
You kind of want to take advantage of some of these cities. So, I mean, some of them I've been to a lot of times, so I kind of know what's there. But some I haven't. There are places where I go, oh wow, we're going there. That's great. I know a restaurant I love.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that'll be interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, if you've got a spot when you're in that city that you like to eat, that's great. Yeah. That's great. So today you are in Hollywood, Florida.
Right? If you say so, yes.
I'm at thewho.com.
Oh, the website.
Yeah, I'm at the website, thewho.com. And by the way, there's also, again, fustercluckmusic.com and Keith Levenson's site also, keithlevenson.net. And, many of us don't think about that, but I'm looking at the dates and how close they are and how much travel there's got to be is just absolutely incredible. I mean, on for example, the 15th of May in Cincinnati, the 18th of May in Boston. And by the way, and then to the UK in the summer in June. You're in New York, Bethel, New York on the 28th, and then you're in the UK. And then back.
And in between, I am personally moving to Las Vegas from New York.
Seriously? Wow.
Seriously.
Oh, wow. That's you're pretty amazing. But again, you're going to be in London, then you're going to be back at Toronto. I don't need to keep hold you while I'm doing that. And then traveling back around the US. Oh, and then you're going to be in Vegas. So you'll be home in November.
Exactly.
Right?
This was my planning. My dream was to finish off this part of the tour and get in an Uber and go home, not be able to fly, not to have to fly anywhere.
Oh, that's great. Well,
that's really sort of a lie. It just happened to work out that way, but it's kind of funny.
It's interesting when you look at the tour. Again, it's thewho.com for more information, thewho.com, KeithLevenson.net, and of course, Fustercluck. I'm sorry, I always have that. Keith, I want to be careful. I didn't do an adult disclaimer, and I don't want to say it.
No, I get it. It's hard.
My favorite bumper sticker before your time, back in when Richard Nixon was in office, and he had fired Archibald Cox. I'm not going to get into the whole history, but my favorite bumper sticker ever was impeach. I have to say it slowly. If you say it, you'll know why. Impeach the Cox sacker. And yeah, so because he fired well, that's it's so that's like.
By the way, it's not before my time.
No. Okay, nope. Should I ask? How old are you?
62.
Wow, you look great. I took you for but yet I've got 7 years on you, And I have to tell you, in 7 years, if I'm still on the earth, we need to talk, and you'll understand better when I say enjoy your youth at 62. Keith Levenson, I have a blast with you. I'm sorry I'm keeping you so long. I know you're busy, and I know the tour is going to be fantastic. And you're so warm and forthcoming with things. I really appreciate the relationship very, very, very much.
Thank you so much.
Hope we can do it again.
Yep.
Thank you. Wow.
And I'd love to get a copy of this, or send me a link or something.
Yeah, I'll have of course we're live. I'll have a Facebook video. I'll have a YouTube video that if you want the YouTube video, and there'll be an audio podcast at some point. So
great.
I'll get it to you.
Great to see you again.
Great to see you again too, Keith Levenson. Thank you for, thank you for doing the gig with me. You're amazing. I appreciate it.
Have a good weekend.
You're going to have an interesting weekend.
Yes,
Thanks so much. What a great guy, ladies and gentlemen. What a great